Michael McCaul has served more than 20 years in Congress, but this term will be his last. The Texas Republican announced that he will not run for re-election. Our Washington team caught up with the congressman after his announcement and got some insight into what led him to make that decision.
Well, I think it's time. I think it's important that members recognize when it's time to move on. I don't think our founding fathers intended for us to be here for a lifetime. And quite frankly, I've served over 2 decades. I think with honor and distinction. I've chaired 2 major national security committees, one being Homeland Security when the Boston bombing happened, the rise of ISIS and the Caliphate. Chairing a Foreign Affairs Committee, we saw the collapse of Afghanistan, the invasion into Ukraine by Russia, Middle East is on fire, Indo-Pacific under threat by Chairman Xi in China. So no shortage of issues, and the world's on fire. And then, we're term limited, and I've chaired 2 major committees, and I'm just ready for a new challenge, a new opportunity, in the same space. I'm not going away. I'll serve my term, but I'll still be very vocal. I'll have a voice, to speak on these issues that I've dedicated my life to, really since 9/11, when I was a counterterrorism federal prosecutor and then ran for Congress.
How would you say Congress has changed over these last 8 or so years?
I think it's not as civil. My agreement with my ranking members, look, we'll try to agree, but when we don't agree, we can do that civilly. We don't have to do that, with demonic rhetoric and that the other person's a bad person. And I think we've lost some of that. There are congressmen and women who want to be constructive and get things done, and then there are others who just like to get attention. And I think the attention crowd is growing, in the Congress. I've always tried to conduct myself as a statesman, and the reason I've been effective, I've often been named as one of the most effective lawmakers, you have to work across the aisle to pass legislation that's going to get through the Senate and then signed into law by the president. And that's why I've been able to get these things done. Otherwise, they're just political messaging bills, and they're not going to turn into, real legislation that can make a difference.
And so we've seen sort of each party come take control, do their big super bill, and it seems like nobody ever wants to work together. Is that sort of how you see it from the inside?
I still think there are a lot of members like myself that want to get things done. The appropriations process has been very difficult, obviously. First person I voted for was Reagan. I'm kind of in that mold, I guess, if you will. And, but the party is evolving. I just hope, this America First, which I agree with, that's why I passed the CHIPS Act, to manufacture semiconductor chips here and not overseas. I hope America First doesn't mean America is absent in the world. I think it's important we still lead as a nation. We don't have to pay for all of it, but they're looking at us for leadership, and I think we can't abdicate that responsibility.
McCaul is one of several members who have said they may be serving their final term in Congress. Morgan Luttrell announced he would not run for a 3rd term. The Republican represents a district north and west of Houston. Democrat Lloyd Doggett said he would not run for re-election if courts approve the redistricting maps passed by Texas lawmakers. Doggett said he wants to avoid a divisive primary election. And Republican Congressman Chip Roy will not seek re-election. Instead, he's mounting a campaign to become Texas Attorney General. While McCaul made news for his plans to leave Congress, another Texan grabbed headlines by launching a congressional campaign. Tejano music star Bobby Pulido announced he will run as a Democrat in Texas's 15th congressional district. Pulido has had several hit songs since the 1990s. He announced his retirement from music at this event last year and is currently on a farewell tour. His popularity could give Texas Democrats a rare chance to flip a congressional seat from red to blue. Pulido will face a primary challenge from Harlingen physician Ada Cuellar. The district stretches from McAllen to Central Texas. It's currently held by Republican Monica De La Cruz, who took a 14-point victory last year. De La Cruz is seeking a 3rd term. In 2022, she became the first Republican and the first Latina to represent the district. Concerns over an increase in vacancies at the National Weather Service.
This isn't the last natural disaster we will have. We want to be better prepared for the next one.
Our investigators found job openings increased after the deadly flood that killed more than 135 Texans this summer. The agency's response and the efforts to address the concerns.